Good morning, I'm Jake Sorber here beside Mike Susko, and we're thrilled to have you here with us as we're bringing you live coverage on the messy winter storm that will be plaguing the Commonwealth this afternoon. And we could see this transition from snow to sleet later on this afternoon. Mike, how do you feel about that transition?
Personally, I love snow, so I would rather see it stay in the snow just a little bit longer. But we are starting to see some of the icing, especially in the southern part of the Commonwealth. We are already seeing ice on the highways, so be sure to give yourself plenty of time to get to wherever you're going if you have to go out today, and be sure to give yourself extra space between vehicles. Remember that your stopping distance decreases dramatically in icy conditions, so you want to be sure that you have plenty of time to make any necessary maneuvers if you run into any trouble.
Absolutely, Mike, because reckless driving helps nobody when the roads are this dangerous. For more on the current conditions and what we can expect in the future, we're going to throw it over now to Matt Honig at the Weather Wall.
All right, thank you so much, Jake and Mike, and good morning to all of you. Thanks so much for joining us here at the Campus Weather Service for our live coverage of this winter storm. The snow has already started across much of Pennsylvania. The heaviest is falling right now, right during your morning commute, so travel conditions are not looking good whatsoever anywhere here in central Pennsylvania. Now, within a few hours, we're going to start to move some warm air in aloft above us, and what that's going to do is transition any snow over to sleet and freezing rain. So that's going to create even more difficult travel, especially during the midday through the mid-afternoon hours. So if you do have to be on the roads, then either take it slow or avoid travel at all even. And this is not only going to create difficult travel, but also some very slippery sidewalks and roadways. So I know campus has been closed through 5 p.m. today, at least classes and activities. So if you don't have to be outside, I would highly recommend not going outside. Just enjoy the snow from indoors and take some measurements for us. Anyways, taking a look at the radar right now, snow has begun to overspread much of the region right now. We are starting to transition, though, already over to a bit of sleet and freezing rain towards places like Johnstown, Altoona, Ebensburg, places in the Laurel Highlands already starting to see that warm air moving in. And that's going to progress north and eastward throughout the afternoon hours as well as the late morning hours. And we can take an even closer look at this precipitation with our high-resolution radar here. You notice the darker blues here. These are heavier bursts of snow within the general band of snow that we're seeing overhead. So as the snow does move in, we could see 1 to 2 inch per hour snowfall rates at times. But you notice these pinks and purples down here starting to creep up a little bit even over the past hour or so, and these should expand off to the north and east as we head later in time. But here is a live look over the State College area. This is from our Walker Building camera. Reduced visibility is also creating treacherous travel, and you can see the snow rapidly accumulating on the building tops, the streets, the sidewalks, so really not a good idea to be outside, especially if you don't have to be. So let's time this out for you. Here's a look at future weather. I think this is holding on to snow here in State College for just a little too long. We'll probably start to see some sleet and freezing rain by then, and all of this down here will probably end up being sleet and or freezing rain. But you get the general idea is that warm air is going to try and push its way northward as we head throughout the late morning and early afternoon hours. Now, as cold air starts to rush back on the back edge of the storm, we might transition back over to a brief period of light snow, but then as we head later into this evening, skies should clear and we will see very cold temperatures tonight, and that'll set us up for a much chillier day during the day tomorrow. Here's a look at the winter weather alerts across our region. Winter storm warnings across the entire northern tier of Pennsylvania, with the exception of the extreme northwestern corner of the state. Here in State College, winter weather advisories. We're expecting a lot of snow in these pink shaded areas to the north, and we also have a winter storm warning down here across south central Pennsylvania, but that's not for snowfall. That's for significant icing that's going to be occurring, so very dangerous travel, especially in places like Johnstown, Bedford, where we could see significant icing as that snow and sleet transitions over to freezing rain. So when all is said and done, this is what we're talking about for snowfall, and this is the official Campus Weather Service forecast. As I was mentioning, the most amount of snow is going to be across the northernmost part of the state, 6 to 10 inches likely from Williamsport, Bradford, much of the north central portion of the state, where we're going to see more mixing here in central PA. 3 to 6 inches is a good bet here in State College. Down to the south, 1 to 3 inches, but again, the danger is also sleet and freezing rain, as it is here in State College, but especially in the south central portion of our state. And then once you get down towards the Harrisburg, Philadelphia area, not nearly as much snow due to it being much warmer down there, and we'll see a quicker transition to rain than we will elsewhere. Another big component of this forecast is the ice potential. So what you're seeing right now is a model image of ice accretion. Now, how I would interpret this is take a look at the purple areas. This is our best chance of seeing icing. Just north of Harrisburg, places like Bedford, Johnstown, the southernmost regions of the Laurel Highlands. That's where we're going to see the most significant icing in this storm. So again, if you can avoid travel at all, definitely do so, because this is going to be a very dangerous travel day once that snow and sleet transitions over to freezing rain. So just one more look at how today is going to shape up. Any snow should transition over to a period of sleet or freezing rain here in State College. Now, even though temperatures might warm by around 2 or 3 p.m., we might get enough cold air aloft again that sleet should transition over back to snow very briefly. And then as we head later into the evening hours, skies should clear and temperatures will fall pretty rapidly into the teens later tonight. That's what I have here at the weather wall. We're going to send it back to Jake and Mike at the desk. Guys, over to you.
Thank you very much, Matt. And we are seeing a lot of icing already reported, especially in Allegheny County, Indiana County, and York County. They're also all reporting ice at this time. But here in Center County, we actually almost picked up 1.5 inches of snow already at the National Weather Service office. And in Butler County, they also picked up 3 inches of snow. So we're starting to see the snow accumulate across the state, and some of that icing is already occurring. On the turnpike, there's a multi-vehicle crash at exit 101, and they're detouring to exit 161. So there are crashes happening already on the turnpike. Again, be sure to give yourself plenty of space and plenty of time to make adjustments for this ice. It is very dangerous out there. Be safe.
That's right, Mike. And you can also have fun while being safe. So when you're outside having your snowball fights or sledding, make sure to take some pictures with your smartphone and send them to the Campus Weather Service Twitter using the hashtag PSUWeather and add us at @PSUWeather. Thank you so much for joining us here with our live coverage of this winter storm. We'll be right back after this short break.
Welcome back to our continuing coverage of this winter storm. We are already seeing some ice accumulation and snow accumulation on the sidewalks and the grass and also those roads.
That's right. Class is canceled. I'm Robert Johnson along with Mike Susko here at the desk. And, you know, Mike, last night Penn State was saying, okay, we're going to delay this thing. We're going to delay classes until 10 o'clock. And now, before the 8 o'clock hour, around 7:30, a little bit before then, Penn State goes ahead and says, you know what, all classes and activities before 5 p.m. canceled, and they will resume after the 5 o'clock hour. So if you have a nighttime lab or recitation going on for a lot of you science and engineering majors, make sure you attend those, because it's still some more school and classes activities to be coming through. So make sure you get ready for that and to stay safe out there, because as you mentioned, we do have some ice coming through, not just the snow.
That is correct. In fact, we're already having accident reports, especially on the turnpike. Right now, there's a multi-vehicle crash on the turnpike at mile marker 101.9, where all lanes eastbound are closed and a Plan X detour is in place. And Rob, as you know, that is not a good sign at all.
That's right.
All eastbound traffic is being detoured to exit 75 to US 119 south, and from there you're going to go to US 40 east. And then from US 40 east, you're going to end up heading to I-68 in Cumberland, Maryland, and then back to I-70 west, where you will enter at 161 back onto the turnpike. So there's a good chunk of the turnpike where if you're coming from the 90s or 80s exits, you can't get through. So make sure you plan accordingly. And again, this just reiterates what we've been saying all morning. You have to give yourself extra time. You can't go to speed limit. It's just very dangerous out there.
That's right. I was out there earlier this morning before I came into the studio, and there were just buses around, and they were going very slowly, not really any cars, a couple of plows coming through, but the roads are not looking that good, as we just saw from that Plan X detour that's happening on the turnpike. And whenever you hear Plan X in terms of traffic jargon, that's one of the worst case scenarios. And a guy who knows the plan about the weather details, that's our very own Patrick Wright, giving us more information about the timing and the impacts. Patrick, what can you tell us?
And with those roads being a mess today, we can really give that a good look because we do have primarily snow over most of central Pennsylvania. As you head further towards the south around Pittsburgh, we do have it turning over to a more of a mix and freezing rain, with the rain further south towards the southwestern corner of the state. So looking at the rest of the state, we do have some of that rain-snow line moving further north, and that will continue to push north as we head throughout the day. However, primarily it is just a snow event here in State College for the moment. So looking at the in-depth radar, we do have some of those higher intensity bands over the State College area right now. And then again, that rain-snow line further to the south. Now as temperatures warm up today, that will move further to the north as the warm air moves in the upper atmosphere. So looking at a live cam here in Altoona, which is expected to get more freezing rain than snow, we do have the paths look pretty clear along the reflection pond today, and then the clouds are there for today with temperatures at 27 degrees. Now looking here at State College, it is a little bit of a different picture. We do have more of that snow coming down right now. I know some of the roads coming into the Walker Building were a little bit of a wet, or not wet, but slippery walk coming in, especially with some of the snow left over from the previous systems that we've had moved through. So looking at the future weather, we do have that changeover starting to take place probably around noon today. As I said, that will move further to the north as time moves on, and then the rain does move further towards the Laurel Highlands and Johnstown by noon. Now as we move this further, it does move out fairly quickly. However, we still have that chance for freezing rain and snow during today at around 1:30, and that will continue throughout portions of the day and then move out by this afternoon. So classes are canceled until about 5 p.m., and by then we should have most of the snow showers moving out of our area by then. So if you have classes this evening, yeah, they're still going to be on for today. However, by tomorrow, we do expect things to clear out pretty decently. However, it will be cold. Now, if we move this forward, a few clouds moving in by tomorrow around noon. So let's take a look at your winter weather alerts right now. We do have a winter storm warning for the portions of northern Pennsylvania. And right now, State College is right along that border where we have a winter weather advisory until about 7 p.m. this evening. And then a little bit of a winter storm warning towards the south, mainly for the freezing rain event. So let's take a look at your snow totals that we are expecting for the campus weather from the Campus Weather Service. We do have the 6 to 10 inch range over towards the north, and then 3 to 6 inches along the central spine of Pennsylvania, State College included in that, and then 1 to 3 inches further to the south. Now, whether or not we're in the higher range for the snow will depend on when that changeover to that mixture happens. So if we have that changeover occur sooner, it'll be on the lower end of the spectrum. However, if it changes later, then we'll be on the upper end of the spectrum towards closer to 6 inches. Now, let's take a look at the ice accretion forecast. This is how much ice we are expecting to fall and possibly accumulate in certain areas. So the deeper purples will have a higher chance of seeing some of those thicker amounts of ice. So as you can see further to the south, that is your best likelihood for those chances. Now, with what we want you to get out of this is that the snow will be a rough morning commute, so please plan extra time if you are heading out this morning. And then throughout the day, we will transition to a sleet and freezing rain, so it will still be a little bit of a treacherous walk or drive during the day. So keep that in mind if you have any events going on. And then, again, the difficult travel conditions will be the big thing. There are a lot of speed reductions on a lot of the highways. And so I know Pennsylvanians like to go very quick when it comes to driving, so please slow it down today. This is the day you do not want to get into an accident. So we will send it back over to the desk. Rob?
And you heard it right there from the man, slow it down. And we've already got some reports, Mike, from some snow totals so far in Pennsylvania. Newcastle as well as Butler, which are both located in the northwestern section of Pennsylvania, both have a couple of inches of snow on the ground. Newcastle, 5 inches. Butler, in Butler County, 3.2 inches of snow. Again, that's in the northwestern section of the state. So just even a better reason to take it slow, and that's even before we get a good deal of ice. Northwestern PA isn't getting much ice at all, but still, even though you're getting a good bit of snow, make sure you take it slow out there. But with the ice on top of that, making it even harder to get around.
Again, you just got to take it slow. Most of the here in Center County have speed restrictions of 45 miles per hour. You definitely want to obey those speed reductions. It is going to be treacherous as you are driving. We are on social media. We are already getting pictures and videos of the storm. We're seeing it starting to accumulate very fast, and some of the ice even on the branches of the trees. So you want to be careful as you are walking. Some of those branches could come down, and we definitely don't want to see any injuries from that here. Also, we have breaking news as well. Penn State New Kensington has canceled classes today due to the weather. So if you're in New Kensington, luckily for you, you have a snow day, so enjoy it.
That's right. And for all the latest on the conditions of what's happening here back at University Park, let's sending outside to our very own Jake Sorber with the latest details outside of the Walker Building. Jake.
Thanks, Rod. Thanks, Mike. As you can see behind me right now, there's not a lot of cars on North Atherton Street at this point in time. The snow is really sticking to pretty much everything. It's actually a real sleety, snowy mix, so it's really granularly, not really good packing snow. So definitely making that transition over to sleet at this point, and we can expect it to transition over to all sleet in about 1 to 2 hours. As you can see, it's coming down at a pretty good clip, not super heavy right now, but that can change hour to hour and even minute to minute. So with more on the weather, we'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
All right, thank you so much, Jake, for that report. And we want to make sure that you guys interact with us on social media, as you just mentioned earlier, Mike. Make sure to use the hashtag PSU Weather. We want to see those photos, those videos, those selfies, but make sure you do it safely.
Yes, and we might even retweet them here if we get a good shot of the snow and the weather. But again, like you said, Rob, make sure you are safe. You don't want to get injured just for a picture or a video.
That's right. That's exactly right, Mike. And that'll do it for us here for now. We'll be keeping you posted all throughout the morning. For Patrick Wright, Mike Susko, and the entire Campus Weather Service team, I'm Robert Johnson. Thanks for joining us. We will be keeping you posted all morning long. Stay safe out there. We've got your updates on PSU Weather.